Welcome to Lawsuit Corner. Yeah, I guess I'm starting that because it feels like every single day right now I am seeing a new lawsuit against one of the major players in real estate. And I have to say that with quite a few of these, I'm like, finally. If you don't know about the Zillow class action lawsuit, I will have a link to that video after this video. The Zillow class action lawsuit, if you are a home buyer with a Zillow agent within the last few years, you do want to watch that one. So who's getting sued today? D.R. Horton. That's right, one of America's biggest builders. So I'm going to walk you through what the lawsuit is, and as a lender for the last 18 years, my personal perspective on it. Now look, at this point, they are not innocent or guilty. This is just a lawsuit that was filed, and it will be interesting to see how this plays out in court. Oh, I have so many feelings about it, guys. Okay, let's read into it. Homeowners sue D.R. Horton over deceptive home sales and financing scheme. I'm just reading through the basic stuff. The lawsuit seeks to stop the defendants, D.R. Horton, from luring homebuyers into buying more expensive homes with larger mortgages and get back all the money the homeowners lost under the Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act, RICO. They're bringing RICO to the party, guys. Homeowners may be entitled to 3 times their out-of-pocket loss. According to the lawsuit, D.R. Horton targeted prospective homeowners by promising low, affordable monthly payments. However, the company lowballed the true monthly costs because it excluded the majority of required property taxes. The lawsuit alleges that D.R. Horton and DHI Mortgage were running a monthly payment suppression scheme to mislead first-time homebuyers into thinking their total monthly housing costs would fit their budgets, said the lawyer. They preyed on people's faith in the American dream of homeownership to lure them into unaffordable, deceptive deals. Many buyers didn't learn their payments would be hundreds of dollars higher each month until after they had closed on their homes and DHI Mortgage had sold their loans to a new mortgage servicer. The lawsuit claims that the Homebuilder and its mortgage company were working together from their initial sales pitch to deceive buyers into closing on homes and mortgages by presenting artificially low monthly payments, leading to payment shock. In one instance, I know I'm just reading, guys, I will get into it, but I want to read it to you because I think it's important. Look, it's like story time, grown-up version. In one instance, plaintiff Frankie Santiago was promised a monthly payment of $2,164.68 for a home in Lake County, Florida. Based on this, he chose a D.R. Horton home with a DHI mortgage loan because the monthly payment was lower than comparable homes with similar sales prices. But less than a year after closing, Santiago's new servicer conducted an escrow analysis that included all of the property taxes as well as the amounts he now had to cover for back taxes due to the scheme, and his monthly payment skyrocketed nearly $1,000. Our goal in bringing this class action lawsuit is to recover damages for the many people around the country who have been cheated and to prevent future homeowners from being lured into this predatory scheme. About time, okay? Now look, I don't know, I'm not saying that I've seen D.R. Horton do this a million times. This is something the attorneys are going to have to prove. If you bought a house through D.R. Horton and everything I just read you went through, I will have a link to this law firm because you should be part of that class action. But I do see nonsense like this every single day. I know I'm clapping because I'm mad. I'm trying to spend that energy. It's one of my biggest pet peeves. So here's the thing. In many cases, when you're buying from a builder, they push you hard to the builder's lender. They're like, oh, we'll give you $10,000 in incentives, but you have to use our lender. And D.R. Horton's been doing that forever. They all do, okay? And the problem with that from a buyer's angle is you don't have a third-party person saying, hey, new construction, if you go off of the current tax bill, which is what I am guessing they were doing, is showing the home buyers, hey, this is your payment, this is the current taxes. And you're like, oh my God, that's great. You're not realizing that the current taxes are based on land-only value. The minute that house is complete, the property gets reassessed, and those taxes go from here to here. That's every single state, guys. Every single state. With new construction, the minute it's complete, that tax basis is going to change. How quickly your county will do it will vary, but it happens. And I see lenders across the country underestimating property taxes all the time. All the time. And you're like, well, Jen, is that illegal? Yeah, I mean, guys, here's the thing. It's our job to give you a good estimate of what to expect with taxes. So for instance, if I'm working as the lender and my buyer's buying a new build, because we do a lot, like I work with a lot of buyers buying new construction, we'll be asking, okay, what is the tax rate for this county? Are there any additional taxes? Because sometimes when you're buying new construction, there can be an additional bond, there can be a mud tax, there can be Melrose. There's all these extra taxes that can happen. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna be calculating off of the purchase price what your taxes likely will be. Now at that point, do I have to collect that much? No, I could do it off of land only, but I need to qualify you off the bigger amount. And it is a conversation. It's a conversation we have with every buyer, 100%, and I think that's the problem. There's a lack of education when you're buying a house. With builders especially, you go in and it feels like one-stop shopping and you're like, this is so great. I get this beautiful house and they're going to give me this lower payment than everybody around me and they're paying to my closing costs. This is the American dream. And it can be if everything's disclosed up front. This lawsuit is saying this wasn't disclosed, and they're claiming that this was happening large scale. That's the claims basically. They're saying that, D.R. Horton, who owns DHI Mortgage, had a scheme to not tell you that information so that you would buy the house. Who knows? Who knows, right? And I think that's where it's going to get really interesting because it's like, look, guys, I've been the lender on a D.R. Horton house, not as DHI Mortgage, but we've had clients where they're like, I don't care about the incentives. I want to work with you, Jen. And I'm like, okay, cool. Have I ever had a salesperson pressuring me to make the taxes look lower? Anything? No, guys, I haven't. But this claim is that it was a relationship between the builder and the mortgage company. And I'll be honest, guys, I think that when the builder owns the mortgage company, it's bad. I think that Zillow pushing you to a real estate agent and the mortgage company that they own, I think it's bad. I think Redfin is now owned by Rocket Mortgage. They're trying to control the real estate agent and the lender. I think it's bad. I think that as a buyer, you really need, I don't want to say church and state, but you need separation of church and state. Think of it like that. So here's my suggestion. If you bought a house from D.R. Horton, if everything I said in that lawsuit rings a bell, definitely look into the class action lawsuit. If you are looking at buying a new construction house right now, okay, and you are like, oh gosh, am I getting quoted right for taxes? Email that lender. Hey, is this what taxes are going to be when it's reassessed? What are these taxes based on? Can you please give me a full estimate on what the taxes will be once the property's reassessed? As a lender, can I give you the exact amount? No, I'm not the county. I don't do the exemptions if you qualify for any, but I can say, hey, based on the tax cert that we got, here's what I would expect. Okay. And if someone says, oh, well, the current tax bill is this, and it hasn't been completed yet, dump that lender because you're getting sold a line that house is going to be a lot less expensive than it is. So look, I hope this video was helpful. there's a lot of lawsuits right now. I'm just going to say it. There's a lot of lawsuits. I'm going to keep on covering them if I think it pertains to you. You know, the FTC just went after Zillow and Redfin. I'm not necessarily going to cover that because that's not a class action that affects you guys. But D.R. Horton has a class action and Zillow has a class action right now that can affect you, the home buyer or homeowner, if you already closed. Thanks for watching, guys.